The first round matchup is set. VGK will be meeting the Minnesota Wild in the opening round of the playoffs that starts on Sunday at the Fortress. The Golden Knights fell in a shootout last night, 5-4 in Calgary, but in doing so, they clinched the second overall seed in the West. And Calgary now out of the playoff chase. We'll have much more ahead. We'll take a look at the playoff picture and more right here on Locked On Golden Knights.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hi again, everyone. Tony Shot Pass Cordasco, Chris Golick reporting. I am a longtime sports broadcaster, marketing consultant, and the host of the new Believe in Vegas on the Believe Network podcast. Chris is a Golden Knights season ticket holder, collectibles editor of the Hockey News, and owner of Silver State Cards and Sports. Coming up ahead on today's program, we will also have a preview of VGK versus the Canucks, I like that, and our locks of the night. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. Find us wherever you get your podcast. Subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. So, VGK falls in the shootout in Calgary last night. The Flames rallying after they found out, surprisingly, that they were eliminated from the playoffs. They were trailing 3-1, and Calgary scores twice to tie it up at 3 apiece. Adam Klapka scores a goal, and then 11 seconds later, VGK's Brandon Saad sends the game into overtime. And by getting that 1 point, Chris, VGK clinches the second overall seed in the West, ahead of a very much fading and nearly like dead in the water Dallas No Stars. So and then Morgan Frost, the game winner in the shootout, Minnesota with a Calgary with a win there, 5-4, and then Minnesota, they had Joel Eriksson Ek and taking the lead there, or tying it up, I should say, against the Anaheim Ducks, 20.9 seconds remaining. So the Minnesota Wild needed just 1 point to move into the first wild card seed, and now they will play VGK. Marc-Andre Fleury in net in overtime, all of that. The Wild win, and that sets up another exciting series between VGK and the Minnesota Wild. I know that's a lot there, but we just wanted to give the entire playoff picture, unlike state-run television last night.
I mean, like the intern put up there, it was a good effort by the B team. Samsonov, on the other hand, that's another story. Horse needing a start after a long layoff. I guess that's my perspective.
He needs a second timeout. Have him play the back-to-back.
No, you're right.
Off the layoff, the second start, they're usually better.
Yeah, right. No,
Does he need some?
Going to wind up going tonight, and that'll be that.
He needs some Lasix, yeah, for sure, especially on the sharp angle shots.
I mean, Samsonov is who he is. We all knew this coming into it. He got through the regular season with an 8.91 save percentage. Might have dropped a little bit with this game. And with all due respect, hopefully it's the last time we see him in net, unless there's a mop-up situation come playoffs for whatever reason. But so we'll see if that's the last of Samsonov. But the rest of the team, you like the effort, right? I mean, you had a desperate Flames team. They clawed back into the game. Saad had the nice answer to at least send the game to overtime. Kind of an awkward goal, but a good effort and everything. And it's a game you don't mind given the circumstances. I honestly didn't know until this morning how close that Wild game was. I had no idea. It was like 20 seconds left. I
20.9
highlights and
20.9. Eriksson Ek with the goal.
You feel for the Flames for the way that shook out. And but in the same breath, I think the Flames, they were dead in the water. They were a team we all probably thought they'd be right above like San Jose and Anaheim when the dust settled, but they made it till the third period of game 81 as far as being alive in the playoffs. So good on them. Dustin Wolf, great future. Coronado, and of course Huberdeau and Nazem Kadri, and everyone else. Klapka, big dude. Klapka is going to be someone that's going to be
Zach
for a long time.
Whitecloud. Zach, step down, Zach. Did you see Whitecloud like looking up at the guy getting into a little skirmish there?
That's
off.
patented Zach Whitecloud for you, but he hasn't backed down. Give Whitecloud credit at least.
He should have there. He should have. He was way out of it. He would have gotten mopped up.
You're out of your elements.
So, no way that there was goalie interference on Saad. No way. He's pushing a guy into the net. No way.
That was a Flames coach. Nothing to lose there. Nothing to lose.
You didn't think that was goalie interference? He was in the crease and pushing? He's pushing a defender into the goal.
No. So in a situation like that, you're never not supposed to play the game. And Saad, the defender for the Flames, they're both attacking on the puck right there. It's a physical play. In a spot like that, it's never going to be called interference 10 times out of 10. It's one thing if Saad and the Flames defender have separation before it happens, and then Saad just bowls them into Dustin Wolf. But that's not the case. They were engaged probably somewhere from the face-off dot as far as the battle going in after Saad released his shot. And that's just, hockey's a contact sport, not a great take, but hockey is a contact sport. And just because there's contact involving a player doesn't mean it's always going to be interference 10 out of 10 times.
Don't agree. Okay, but let's move on today's show. I like those looks, though. That's the best. Yeah, no shoulder shrug today. That's missing from the repertoire. State run on TV got me so darn. I don't ever say the word darn. So darn frustrated last night. So they don't even mention late in the game after VGK ties up the game. I think it's an important point to make that the Golden Knights, with 1 point, getting that game into overtime, clinching the second seed in the West and the third seed overall for home ice advantage. I think Winnipeg's a little bit on the fraud side. It could go out early and VGK could own the West. Washington, who knows? They're number 3, and they did not point out the importance of tying it up and sending it into overtime. At the end of the broadcast, they go, oh, yeah, and by the way, VGK now gets the number 2 seed.
Yeah, I don't know
how do you miss it?
How do
you miss that? You don't think that that's important? I think that's way important.
I think it's important. I don't know what, why, when, or how. And full disclosure, I watched the game very passively last night. I probably watched about the last 12 minutes pretty closely. So I didn't catch the entire broadcast, but I do think it is an important note to pass along. Sure. And if anything, it's a credit to the Golden Knights season, 3rd overall in the NHL after what happened in the off season. And you're seeing all these players develop and, a great coming out party for Howden and Dorofeev. And now we got Saad. We'll see how that shakes out. Riley Smith is back. And of course, the storyline of Jack Eichel and all the other high level talent on the team. So yeah, there's a lot to like about what happened this season. And I think celebrating, I don't know if call it 3rd overall in the NHL is a milestone by any means, but it's a great achievement.
It's home ice for 2 rounds and then possibly your path to a Stanley Cup final. Yeah. Hello. I think it's big. I'm sorry, they missed the point. And even that one guy on State Run says Vegas gets another point on the Dallas Stars. How do you not know that they're clinching it? How do you not know that, Mr. Shot Pass? Okay, so against Minnesota now, they have to start looking ahead. The 2021 7-game series, which was really interesting and fun, and hopefully this goes the distance. But VGK of late has been owning the Minnesota Wild. Getting Kaprizov back, Eriksson Ek is back. Now they're a different team. They're a much different team than we saw here. VGK owned the series 3-0 this season, 5-1, 4-1, 3-2. So that series is set now for the Golden Knights. And Kolasar post-game was talking about the Janmark hat trick.
It was Janmark, yeah. Someone pointed it out yesterday.
That's who you were trying to think of yesterday. I kind of bypassed that. I did one of these, Chris. I did the shoulder shrug. When I'm not swaying back and forth, I'm going to do the shoulder shrug. And Colasar also talking about Minnesota now being a heavy team for the Golden Knights to go up against.
Heavy team is something to be concerned about. We've seen VGK struggle in those moments, and a heavy team that can take away VGK's transition game could be tough to deal with. Someone chirped yesterday on YouTube saying, "Oh, the Wild are 15-12, or the Golden Knights are 15-12-1." Not exactly sure having their number, but then someone backed you up, Tony, and the Golden Knights have won 8 out of their last 10 against the Minnesota
Thank you.
Wild.
Okay,
So
thanks.
they've
8 of 10.
definitely had their
Oh,
number,
man.
to
I
say
needed
the
to be
least.
bailed out. I really did. I did.
There you go. But so yeah, we'll see we'll get more into that probably Friday, but we'll see exactly how the Wild team looks and everything. And you mentioned the Jets are a fraud. Well, the Wild have been a playoff fraud since their inception in 96, whatever the Minnesota Wild came reemerged as a franchise. They've been a playoff fraud. Great regular season team, and then I don't know how many round ones they won, but it can't be that many. And maybe
The
this is the
last
year.
time I think they won a round, I want to say was like 2015-ish. Yeah, I
mean,
think it's been a minute.
listen, we're talking about just a pinch yourself type of moment here.
Holy smokes, we're already at 11 minutes. I have like a lot more content. Go
Well,
ahead.
whatever. We're talking about a team that's been around for a long time here, and we're scratching to find. Oh well, they won one round a while back. I can't remember when.
Is it
And then yeah, by the way, we're
15-ish?
talking about the Golden Knights, who are looking to make our second, a third possible Stanley Cup final appearance. So it's you got to remind yourself how lucky we are in having a team like this to watch.
Yeah, and Bruce Cassidy afterwards last night said that he felt the team played well. I can't believe we lost in the middle.
That's a shot at Samsonov. That's a shot at Samsonov.
I think that is a shot.
That was a shot at Samsonov. I don't care what he says.
It's Samsonov. Get that right.
It's Sam.
And
No
then,
saves off.
And then no Eichel last night. Stone, Petro, Hannafin, no Aiden Hill for the Golden Knights. We won't see Hill on today. He won't be back in the lineup. And then again, the Four Nations guys pretty much they wanted them to slow down and get a little breather in before the tough playoff run, especially Stone. I mean, he's really exceeded expectations. We could put that on the napkin there about the way the captain has played this season. So pretty interesting playoff set. Also in the West, you've got the Blues and Winnipeg. That should be fun. The Avalanche and the Stars. I just can't believe the Stars have gone to the dumps.
Avs probably might open as a favorite in that series.
Who did?
Avs should open as a favorite in that
series.
They
should be a favorite. Yeah, they definitely should. And then out of the West, yesterday, the news, we've got Edmonton and LA. Well, Darnell Nurse, I was surprised that player safety was up that early in the day. So I knew that they were going to have a hearing. They never are up before.
Edmonton was traveling. That's why the news came out later. They weren't in a rush because Edmonton wasn't playing.
Okay, so Darnell Nurse, a 1-game suspension for that check on Quentin Byfield. They just want to make the playoffs spicier for sure. So
I'm surprised there's only 1 game. This was, in my opinion, pretty close to a carbon copy of what happened with Mark Stone and Jamie Benn. Now, Jamie Benn was, a little more. Stone was on his back, where Byfield was kind of on his knees, and he got him from behind. But still, I thought the two situations were extremely close, given this is now Darnell Nurse's 3rd suspension, if memory serves me correctly. I thought it was 2, possibly 3 games coming for Nurse. So, I mean, the NHL, I won't say that they gave a break necessarily to Edmonton, because Darnell Nurse, his game can be very troublesome at times. And Oiler fans might have been hoping it was 2 or 3 games. Who knows?
And in the East, we've got the Battle of the Tariffs there between the Senators and Toronto. Where is that? The Battle of whatever. And then you've got the Panthers and the Lightning, the Devils and the Hurricanes, and the Caps still waiting to see if they play either Montreal or Columbus. Kudos to Columbus. They are still battling, man. It's going to come down to game number 82. So that is a terrific story.
Montreal needs a point.
Yeah, terrific story there. And hockey down to the wire once again. Surprising, right, that it comes down to the 82nd game of the season. Coming up next, we've got a preview of the meh. Boy, I tell you what.
It's not the
And it
Canucks,
turns
it's a
out fire.
situation, to be fair. I'm not knocking the Canucks.
No. It's a meh game. It's a nothing game. A game in which William Karlsson typically gets a hat trick when there's garbage time. Back with more right after this on Locked On Golden Knights. That look, Locked On Golden Knights. Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? Between dining out, especially here in Vegas, online shopping, entertainment, it is so easy to lose track. And that's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money isn't just a budgeting app, it is a complete financial command center. And you can track all of your accounts, your investments, and spending all in one place. So you stop just managing your money and you start to build wealth. When I started using Monarch, I realized how much money I just spend on everything here in Vegas. I do like to eat out there frequently with friends. We go out and we enjoy. And now I can budget smarter and save a lot more. All in one convenience. Instead of juggling multiple apps, you can now use Monarch to check your finances. You can track your spending and even plan long term goals. Managing money with your partner is smoother than ever. You can track shared and personal accounts, set goals, and stay on the same page without the stress. So take control of your finances today and use the promo code LOCKEDONNHL, and you will receive 50% off of your first year. Again, go to monarchmoney.com. Use the promo code LOCKEDONNHL for $50 off of your first year. Welcome back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick reporting from Las Vegas. Don't forget, Friday is Good Friday, and it's also WTGF. What the Good Friday?
We have to behave.
Yeah, I think we should. It's a holy day. No, not for you. Don't forget as well to download our Locked On Golden Knights podcast. Find us wherever you get your podcast. And please make sure to subscribe to Locked On Golden Knights on the YouTube channel. A meaningless game for VGK and the Canucks tonight in Vancouver. The Golden Knights last won, over a week ago there in Vancouver, 3-2. On a Victor Olofsson shot on net. He scores the goal. Nick Waugh had a goal, and that was off of the skate of Victor Mancini. A lot more trickery there for the Golden Knights, and these trick shots, they're exceptional. This Vancouver team, you have to talk. I mean, they've had a lot of issues and what have you over the course of the season, but they're still playing hard. And we saw what happened against Dallas. I think this started the tailspin where the Vancouver Canucks scored 3 goals in the last minute of play to send the game against Dallas into overtime. And then they won that game. They tied it up with, I think, 5.2 seconds to go at 5 apiece. And then they won it in overtime. And this Dallas Stars team, I was just thinking back. Remember when we saw Pete DeBoering have that tailspin where he had that meltdown at the podium, even though his team had won? It's about three weeks ago or so. And we talked about it, and he just left the podium. He was pissed off, right? He looks like the unmade bed, and the tie's all like drooping and stuff. And then he just walks off, storms off, even though his team won. He could sense something was wrong with that team. And then this Vancouver game was something else there. I saw the highlights, and I saw the highlights as it was happening, and I was like, this is crazy. 3 goals in a minute. That's an NHL record.
Yeah, I mean, the Stars definitely, and who knows, maybe once the playoff lights come on, maybe the Stars bounce back and they go back to the Stanley Cup contending team that everyone thought they would be. It's very, very possible. Miro Heiskanen, I believe, still remains out. Of course, Mark Stone and Rupe Hintz were involved in that situation that happened at T-Mobile Arena, back in January or something like that. So I have no idea if Miro's close to coming back. But on the Vancouver side, I mean, just kind of looking at their 5-3-2 in their last 10 games. That's not going to cut it when you're a fringe playoff team. Just looking at their game logs, it's a lot of win-win, loss-loss, win, loss-loss, win-loss, like just going back the last like 20 games or so. Distractions. You had the JT Miller, Elias Pettersson drama that played out very famously inside that locker room. Rick Tocchet, where was he during all this? I still think that's a question that needs to be asked a lot more when they're evaluating the job that he's done. Rick Tocchet, of course, a lot of rumors for the Flyers, and who knows about your Rangers now, and a lot of different places where Rick Tocchet might end up. And the same questions about Pete DeBoer. Should the Dallas Stars bow out early in the playoffs, which would not surprise anyone at this point. So the NHL coaching carousel will be opening for business pretty soon, about the next 3 to 4 weeks, as the regular season ends this week. And then, of course, all the playoff teams that'll get knocked out in the first round. So a lot to keep an eye on coming up. But back to the game tonight, send out the Henderson Silver Knights, call the Lake Tahoe Monsters, call Savannah in case they want to send anyone up. Maybe go get some beer league pros, have them come dress for a game tonight. I know you can't do that with the roster limits, but I would love to see the Golden Knights put out a team that would not have a single player playing on Sunday in the home playoff opener against the Wild. I know it's not possible, but I would love to see as many regulars not in the lineup tonight as possible.
So what was this with Bruce Cassidy and OT sending out 3 forwards?
That's not uncommon, number one. I think it's more IDGAF mode at that point, as far as get through the game and stuff. And I saw Olofsson once as the last man back on a rush in the overtime. I'm like, oh, this game's over. And he actually made a nice defensive play. I think he did. I think he toe picked himself and wound up making a play on accident, but it was a good play, and it was a fun OT. Both teams had chances. I think the Golden Knights kind of dominated the chances. Dustin Wolf tried to create one of the best odd man OT rushes in history by throwing the puck forward.
Why did they stop that play?
I think that's against the rules. I don't think, as the goalie, I don't think you can throw the puck and do like a lacrosse pass.
Why would they blow that play dead?
I'm pretty sure that's why it was blown dead right there. I know, like, the goalie isn't supposed to create, because the goalie is protected, right? The goalie is protected when they freeze the puck. Players are not supposed to. The goalie's protected. So when the goalie has the puck, you can't challenge him. So when the goalie uses that as their advantage to create a play, I think that's an automatic whistle in a circumstance like that.
Chris, hold on, Golick. Hold on. You go, hold on. I like that. So you said hold on in the middle of that to kind of go.
Sure I thought you were telling me to hold on. Okay, sorry.
No, that's your name. New nickname. Hold on.
I'll take it.
The thing about, Calgary and now the Canucks, they had some stats last night in the game where they were talking about the lack of success in all the overtime games. And what was it, 22 overtime games for Calgary? Is that what they said? There was something. Yeah, if they had gotten like a couple of more points, 1 or 2 more wins, it comes down, it's that narrow of a margin, then they might have been in the playoffs right now. And same thing with the Canucks. Not great in the extra period, but they've had a lot of overtime games, these two teams. So it could have been a lot different.
Overtime loser points, 5-2 in the shootouts. So yeah, that's a lot of overtime games, and we talk about this on the Golden Knights side. You mentioned the margin for the playoffs and stuff. This is why when the Golden Knights do, give up a weak point in late November, early December, that I like getting on the team for that because of the margin. And we saw that play out when the Golden Knights, of course, did not make the playoffs in season 5. That one time they didn't make the playoffs. So every point does matter. And thankfully, the Golden Knights were on the right side of those points mattering. They got more of those points than they didn't get. It's not going to be a perfect scenario. We know that. But the Golden Knights were on the better side. And again, rewarded for 3rd overall in the NHL. I mean, I think them and the Leafs could tie in points, but
that
3rd
is
overall
crazy.
in the NHL. Should it be Vegas and Leafs in the Stanley Cup final? We're getting way ahead of ourselves. But I think the Golden Knights will actually have the tiebreaker for wins in regular 41. Yeah, 41 to 45. So looks like Toronto's been an overtime merchant this year as well. I don't know.
Okay.
Based off of that.
Yeah, for sure. And we're short of having at least one Canadian team advancing to the second round.
Nah, they'll both find a way to lose.
So I know, we were talking about Kolasar saying that they're playing a heavy team. Well, they will get some experience against a team. You got to keep your head on a swivel tonight, uh, because Kiefer Sherwood leads the NHL with 454 hits. 454 hits, bro.
It's a lot.
You better be careful in this game tonight, because the Canucks, again, you play loose, you play with nothing to lose, and you just don't know. So I think that's a concern. I think heading into the playoffs, another concern right now to me is the power play unit. I mean, of late, they've kind of sputtered, and they're second now in the NHL. You think they'll be fine? Okay.
Yeah.
Last 5 games, Jake DeBrusk has 4 goals, 28 goals overall. So we will see how this plays out tonight. And do you think that there are a lot of players flying up there after last night?
I hope so, but again, I don't know exactly the roster limits and all that. Well, they'd already be up there, number one, but I don't know how many they can do and move around and all that at this point. I mean, you're going to have some players out there.
Play stinking Ron Bjork tonight. Play Ron Bjork. I'm going to take him again, probably.
I just wrote Ron Bjork down, actually.
You did too?
Yeah.
Damn it.
I mean, I don't know. Are the Four Nations guys going to all play tonight now? I mean, was that what the discussion point was? Like they set out one of the games, now they all play tonight. Was that the angle?
I don't think they're are they even on the trip? I don't
know, but I don't
think
the way
so.
Cassidy was talking, I think it sounds like the Four Nations guys.
What is wrong with this man?
Game 81 was their game to get off.
No way. Why would you even risk that in a game where
I'm with you, but maybe it's what the players want. And if the players want to do it, you got to listen, right? I don't know.
Coming up next, it is that time for our locks of the night and our predictions. Stay with us right here on Locked On Golden Knights. The NBA playoffs are here, and FanDuel is giving new customers an incredible way to get in on all the action. Right now, when you join FanDuel and place your first $5 bet, you will receive $250 in bonus bets if your bet wins. And I absolutely love how FanDuel is making betting so easy, whether it's picking my favorite team or diving into player props, from 3-pointers to steals to assists. FanDuel has so many ways that you could bet on your favorite player props. That's right. Plus, after the game tips off, you can even combine the live prop bets into a same-game parlay for a chance to win big. And currently, the odds on VGK Minnesota, as we move over to pucks real quick, VGK a -250 series favorite. Don't forget, and don't miss out. Head to FanDuel today. Go to FanDuel.com and claim your $250 in bonus bets. FanDuel.com. Welcome back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick reporting from Las Vegas. Thanks for making us your first listen every day. We sure do appreciate all of you. And again, it's great to meet a lot of the folks here in Vegas. Someone asked us yesterday, Chris, by the way, why do we do our bios at the beginning of the show? And I thought that was an interesting question, so I'll address it right now, because we do have a ton of unique listeners and viewers every day. People that have never seen the show or heard the show before, and they're like, what are these guys talking about? No, we want to make sure that they know who is on the show. So that's why we do it every day. A lot of unique listeners and viewers. It's unbelievable. And especially now, come playoff time, all the Minnesota fans will be tuning in. So I have, again, our locks and predictions, and I will go tonight with a 4-2 Canucks win. They should have an over-under on Minnesota hits. I mean, not Minnesota. Vancouver hits. Vancouver. I'm taking the Canucks.
There's probably a book that gives it. I don't know.
Is there? Is that on FanDuel? I have to look that up.
Hope so. I don't know.
We should bet it. We should take the over. And I just have one player tonight who plays exceptionally well in garbage time games, and that is William Karlsson. He'll score both goals. That's it. 4-2 Canucks.
I don't know. I was just trying to think who's going to be playing tonight. I like Ron
Can I
Bjerg
take
and
Ron
Ben
Bjerg
Hutton.
too?
I don't know.
Should I throw Ron? I'll throw Ron Bjerg in there too.
Okay. Ron, we'll both go Ron Bjerg. That's fine.
And with last night's loss for me, I did clinch last place in our standings.
Well, we go through the playoffs, so don't worry.
Oh, we are.
We'll go through the playoffs. We'll go through the playoffs.
So I've got. So you're saying I have 5 more games? That's it.
Remaining. I mean, if you think the Golden Knights are going out 4-0 in the playoffs, I guess.
I said 5.
For a crappy offseason.
What do you think? What do you think of this this betting line minus 250 VGK over Minnesota?
No.
Early impression, first impression.
Terrible. There's no value in betting the Golden Knights in a line like that. They're if you play this series, I don't know how the math. I mean, minus 250, 75. If you play this 100 times in a simulation, I don't think 67 or whatever the math should be, 60% of the time. I don't know. 65% of the time, I don't know if the Golden Knights advance. It's not a knock on the Golden Knights. That's not me throwing putting the Minnesota Wild on a pedestal either. I think the margins when it comes to playoff hockey are extremely close, and a lot of these series, as we've seen in the past, they're coin flips. And even if the Golden Knights win in 7 games, that's a coin flip. Or in 6 games, it could have gone so close. My lock's real fast: 4-3 Vancouver, Hutton and Ron Bjerg. I have no idea who's even playing. So 4-3 Vancouver, Hutton and Ron Bjerg. We'll see what happens. But back to the betting line. I mean, if you do like the Golden Knights, I wouldn't bet minus 250. I would take them minus a game and a half and hope the Golden Knights win. It doesn't go to 7 games. Yeah, so minus a game and a half. So basically you're saying, yeah, absolutely you can bet that. That's a common bet. Absolutely.
Why haven't I heard of that one?
That's 100%. And the line on that, it's like basically a puck line bet, but for a series. Okay. That'll probably move the needle to minus 150 or something, or 140. That's the better value. If you like the Golden Knights side, you can even mess around with that and then use that as a hedge too. I mean, if you take a team to win game 1, take the dog and then bet the reverse on the next game. There's a lot of different ways you can grind out a half or a quarter unit after the first 1 or 2 games of a playoff series. It's not easy. It's similar to betting in the junk racetracks, betting the 1 to 5 to show and making your 10 or 20 cents. But there's a path to grinding in the playoffs too.
Okay, and I did want to point out that our guy Huddy is now playing in his 11th game tonight. So he's playing a lot late. They should have.
I mean, if he's playing his 11th game, he's probably played the last 9 or something like that.
He's played a few in a row. Right?
And I wonder what the record is. There's got to be a way to find this. But
wait, Haig was back last night, right?
Haig was back. He looked a little lost at times, but first game back, no big. I'm not going to put a lot of stock into that.
Just get in some skating and again stay.
Knights are 6-2-2 in their last 10, and I feel like whenever Hutton's in the lineup, the team has better statistics. They win.
Absolutely, they win. He should start in the Cup Series here.
He's the money puck that he gets on base.
I told you how valuable he
gets on base. He gets on base.
Thank you all for making us your first listen every day. We appreciate you tuning in wherever you might be around the globe, because we do have global listeners and viewers. Don't forget, on Friday, WTF, Saturdays, sometimes the Chris times Chris Jr. show. That's
we should do it. We'll do a playoff show. I'll commit to getting a show out before the playoffs.
That would be fantastic. Do you know when the last show was, by the way? Do you know
what?
When was the last show? Last April?
No, ago? It was this season. It was this season.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much.
There were 2 Chris and Chris shows when me and Condos did that show and Brandon Saad was acquired. There you go.
Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you again tomorrow. For my man, Chris Golick, I'm Tony Cardasco from WrestleMania headquarters here in Las Vegas. We'll see you again tomorrow right here on Locked On Golden Knights, and please take care.